Welcome one, welcome all. And we are now deep into the college football season. It's week 2. It's a lot of fun. Week 3. It's a lot of fun to be had here. I got my weeks mixed up already, but as always, we got Bruce joining me and Big T as well. But we have to go to the main man first. Bruce, how are you doing this week, man?
Man, doing well. We had a good main slate last week. I know Kevin Coleman Jr. won me a lot of money, so it was a good weekend. Then won a little bit in the soccer streets too, so that was fun. So yeah, looking forward to this week. 5 games tonight, and then big slates tomorrow. So it's gonna be a good weekend of football for sure.
Absolutely. Started last night with the Hollywood Smothers game, just absolutely going off against Wake Forest. Wake Forest wasn't able to move that ball that much. Big T, though. I mean, my God, you had a big sweat last week. You had Bryce up there as well. You had Cake Boss. You had a few other Run Pure Sports members as well. Bruce, just incredible playbook. But, I felt like we all had a sweat at one point on that main slate last week. It went really, really well, and a lot of members had some screenshots. But Big T, man, you just needed a little bit more from who was it? Who did you need a little bit more from?
I mean, the key for me was Cameron, who we talked about on the show, bouncing back. And I'll admit I got a little lucky too. I loved him, but someone got ruled out right before, and they were the same price range as Cameron. I can't remember who it was. Someone though, to where I went in and I was looking for a global swap on him. And it was the info on the Syracuse guy where it was like this or that. And I'm like, screw it. Let's see who's in his price range. And somehow Cameron was the same price as him. And I'm like, screw this. I love Cameron. I'm just going to slam Cameron on all these teams that had the Syracuse guy. And he went for like 40 points or something, just totally nuked, which is why we love college, because you get these nuke showings. And the guy we talked about on the show, which I'm drawing a blank, who was the Mizzou, the Mizzou stack that I talked about on the show too, where I'm like, it's just a free square. They freaking nuked. I mean, the receiver and the quarterback just nuke city. So everything went good. I think I finished I don't know, 10th or 11th, so somewhere in there around didn't quite get all the way to the top. But on weeks like that, man, it's tough. You need every single play to get in there and smash, because you look up and down the board of every leaderboard, you got all fire signs. You got 40s and 50s and 30s, and the value guys are going for 20. And it's why we love college, right? You get just massive, massive games. And I had a lot of people coming in talking trash about my boy from Illinois. I mean, they were so happy that this dude freaking nuked on me. He pissed all over my head. He got it done for me. I salute the people. Some guy was responding to the comments 3 days later, letting me know his stat line. I like that. I like the passion of people watching the show. And yeah, you got me. He was good last week. I'll give it to you. They whooped up on Duke. I'll take the L on that. You guys get the victory on that. Let's move on to this week.
Yeah,
we love that. We love getting dunked on. It's a lot of fun.
Luke Altmaier for Heisman, baby. That's all I gotta say. I mean, look good.
Look good. They whooped him. If you ever want to get me mad, it's when people are like, "You never take L." I always take L's. He crushed me, and I bet Illinois. And I bet Duke. I'm sorry, I lost that bet.
Well, you know who else you bet though? You bet Kentucky, who backdoored for you.
Don't you worry. We got heart. And you said they were going to whoop them. It was always close. I know at the very end they went up, but that game was within a score almost the entire way. Like they played them tough.
I think
it was lucky at the end, though. I'll admit that.
Kentucky was down 3 on the Ole Miss side of the field there, I think, with the ball late in the fourth quarter, and they ended up giving up a touchdown. Kentucky, they played with heart, and if Kyle Zada doesn't get hurt, who knows if they even make that again. I know Cutter Boley is, really raw. They need to let him develop, but yeah, it'll be very, very interesting. We got a lot of people here. Oh yeah, Steve Boynton. We got the proximity to the whole golf props going on, and we crushed them yesterday. We doing well today as well. If you guys ever want to sign up, check out the bet stuff here at Run Pure Sports. Everyone is in there and having a great time. We got JB Hughes, Hobbs, IPT in here who called us out for being late. As usual, I love it. You
got to have accountability, Rubio. You got to have accountability. They're holding us to it. I appreciate that. You got to have accountability in all sectors.
Oh, we got Kevin Riley on the slate. Ooh, okay. I got to check this out. Yeah, what 3K? Oh my gosh. Well, Bruce will get into that in a little bit. And we got Don Rubio is already rattled. Yeah, so it gets me back on track is some Altmaier glaze. You know that I love myself some Altmaier. You know, I might bet a prize with just to tilt Tony. I think that'll be a great move. But we got a ton of games to get to. I don't want to run us long like usual. You know, I'll try and keep us under maybe 100 minutes this time, but it'll be an interesting slate to talk about. Let's go ahead and get it done here. Bruce, Battle of Michigan, Central Michigan taking on Michigan in Ann Arbor. Bryce Underwood had his struggles last week, put 5,700 here, but Justice Haynes is the one guy who just projects like crazy in this one. What are you doing with this game here, Bruce?
Yeah, like we said, you know, a couple weeks ago when San Jose State played Central Michigan, it's a bad football team, even though they somehow pulled out a win against San Jose State. Michigan should roll here. They should be pissed off after you know, losing to Oklahoma last week. I really hope Marlon Klein is back. I haven't seen any news on him, but if he's back, it's probably a good play at 3,700. Tight end. You know, when he played, he had like 27% usage, 9 targets in that first game too. So, you know, but it's really all about the running backs. You know, Michigan's going to run the football with Haynes and Marshall, and you know, they're both elite plays. I think, you know, they probably want to get Marshall some more snaps. And last year when he played, he had, you know, he looked really solid. But it's been Haynes most of the first couple games here, just going off. But I don't mind him at 6,100. And then Underwood, you know, maybe he has a nice game. He's only 5,700, and it's a bad opponent, so I don't mind him either. Just really hard to play him with a receiver here. McCauley and Klein are like the only two you'd really think about playing with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this does feel like a little bit limited options here. I mean, I'm kind of expecting Big T to come out of nowhere here and give us a second or third string running back maybe this time out. Like, well, your boy, who was it last year? I was like Adam Scott or something who actually did really well. He got like 13.4. I got to give you credit. I didn't know your game. You know, I did not know your game.
The problem was when it came down to it, there ended up being just so many value plays that I didn't play that much. I did play a little of them, not that much though. And it just didn't make a difference. But this is one spot that, man, I just struggled to really get heavy in there. I do. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good evaluation of the show here. I think that pretty much sums up. We can go home now. Let's go back and shut it down. That says what we're going to do for sure. But Bruce gives the info. I make the jokes, and Rubio has the bad takes. I mean, that pretty much.
I got worked up on Altmaier last week. If you get me worked up like Altmaier, you had me worked up. I was angry when that one happened. I was like, you can't call.
I was angry when that happened. I mean, I struggle. It's Michigan versus a high school team. Haynes is definitely a good play at 7,400. And these Michigan guys in the past, which college is one sport that I think you can weigh a little bit what they've done in the past. Some of these guys have nuked in these spots along the way where they let their guy get 2 touchdowns and $150 or something, and then they pull them out and put other people in. So I think you can play Haynes and you can definitely play Marshall. Just looking at the numbers from Macaulay Culkin or whatever this dude's name is, I think you can play him at 4,400 too, just with the way how cheap he is. Honestly, I wasn't planning on Underwood. I think Underwood's a decent like cash type play, or if you fade Haynes for some reason, he's just so cheap at 5,700. You could even play him with Macaulay Culkin at 4,400. You got a nice cheap stack. I don't love it. Don't get me wrong. I don't love it, but it is cheap to be able to put with other stacks, and there is at least a path. I mean, I don't think he ever gets you like 35 or something, but if Underwood gets you like 24 and Macaulay Culkin gets you like 20, I mean, you're in pretty good shape. So I do think you can leave these Michigan guys in the pool. When I run the numbers, really all I get is Justice Haynes in my Saber Sim builds right now. But I don't know. I'd leave them in there. I feel okay about those price points. Nobody feels overpriced.
Yeah, the price points are very solid.
Who's man going? Who they keep talking about? 3,400. Who is it?
Oh,
That was the guy yesterday or last week for Texas Tech. What was his name? Hill.
Oh, my boy. They were calling him man going.
Yeah, because he's got the same hair. He's got
Yeah,
the little.
I've seen him. That's respect.
Adam Hill is the 3K. Okay, that
Adam
makes
Hill.
sense. Yeah, okay. I was thinking Adam Scott. I was thinking some golf. But yeah, no, Adam Hill was the 13.4 fantasy points last week. Still a low tag, but this time you won't get to run over the 4 stringers. But it'll be a good time ahead.
Throwing a little underhanded comment in there against my boy. Don't be getting mad and sliding that in there on me.
No. Don't get me worked up, Tony. My voice might crack. I think it's a good point, too, for news.
You haven't commented on what Bruce's jersey is today either. I'm trying to figure out what it is here.
I know it. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, I just sprouted a little bit.
A little Caminero.
The best part was, first thing I do when I get into the StreamYard, Big T, is Bruce is like, I'm rocking the Caminero. It turned his back on me and said, I'm rocking the Caminero. Didn't even say a word yet. Didn't even say a word. And he just turned around and said, I'm rocking the Caminero.
Did he give like the...
Yeah. That's how Bruce celebrates all his home runs in softball.
Just every time he hits one, he turns around and starts going like that. He celebrates a lot, man, because that guy hits bombs.
He's only 21, 22, I mean.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's the home run derby, right? He was the one who got second place is what it was, right? I think. Yeah. But yeah, good vibes ahead. And you said Marlon Klein is questionable, right, Bruce? That is one thing.
I think so. I think last I looked, he was. I don't know. I have to check. I think it was just an ankle, but he didn't play last week. So
perfect. And if you guys do want that news and you're like wondering where do I find it, well, Bruce will be all over that in the Discord as well as many of the members as well. Be sure to kind of sign up. And if you're looking for a special promo code, again, I don't know how long this is going to last. It's only week 2 in the NFL basically. But Big T, you're giving out that promo code, right, for any members who want to try us out?
Absolutely. Probably only a couple more days of it. But, yeah, if you want to join, check us out. Great time of year, obviously, because you get college and you get NFL and you get the end of baseball and the playoffs, NASCAR, MMA, big card. I give the same spiel every time, but can't beat it with the promo code and the Saber Sim and all the sports this time of year because, I mean, even just tonight, you got like a NASCAR race. You got a college slate on a Friday night. You got one more sport, too, that I'm drawing a blank that I know I have. Baseball, obviously. Maybe that was what I was thinking of. I knew I had 3 sports, though, but join them all. Hang out and give us a try. If you don't like it, after sign up for a monthly package. If you don't like it, then go back to wherever you're doing. I think you'll like it, though. I think you'll like the community. Test it out. Bruce, no one better in the world at info for college football than Bruce. And it's just fun getting in that Discord on a Saturday. You're watching all the news and stuff because you got to be in the Discord on a Saturday. You never know when there's going to be helmet holding and news break before these locks. So if you want a promo code, let me know. Slide in. You can still technically get in that NFL contest too if you wanted to pop in there for $100.
I got 4th place in that yesterday, Tony. I'm
What's
looking good.
Does that get you? You winning? What do they call it?
You said points, right? It's like
participation trophies. I mean, first place is all that matters, Ruby.
No, you said there's points for getting like top 10 each week. You get you get points for 4th place. I know that. Colin Hoffman from the show did win the Jordan hoodie last night. He had the first touchdown. I actually, there's about 10 packages in front of the door going out today. We sent a bunch of gear out yesterday. I can confirm that you are getting those shipped out. I can confirm that. It's not just, we'll get them out. No, you are 100% already.
How can you confirm it? How'd you check my work? Were you diving in behind the scenes, making sure I got the job done?
I mean, you wouldn't post we're shipping it here if you weren't already doing that. You just wouldn't have said anything.
About accountability, you got to hold me accountable getting that stuff out. I appreciate that.
Well, sometimes we can take a little longer than most, but we will get it out.
Oh, see, Bruce, that's what he always does. He just slides in another comment. Positivity from me, and then just a little comment thrown in there.
I was referring to myself taking a little bit there. Sometimes that could happen, right? There was no underhand comment there. Yeah. Come on, don't be sensitive now. Got a lot of games to cover here. We'll move on from Michigan to another Big Ten school. We'll go to Oregon and Northwestern. This spread surprised me, Bruce, because when I was looking at this, like my first instinct was to click Oregon. What was it, minus 27.5 or something, just off the way they looked last week. Their running back situation might be the most maddening thing ever. I think I had a lineup that finished real high in the $4 Big T, and I had Noah Whittington. I'm sitting there looking good, and he only gets 91 yards despite breaking an 80-yard touchdown run, and like he only had 4 carries. And Bruce, like, you know, that's probably going to be the norm for this running back room, right? Over the next, you know, until kind of maybe the dust settles. But is it really just going to be like 5 or 6 dudes? I think 10 guys had a carry in the first half last game. And it's just not viable for DFS, is it?
Yeah, and you got to think they'll start working Mekhi Hughes in there a little bit more too. I mean, 5 carries a game is crazy for him, and Whittington is averaging 7. It's just all over the place. It's hard to play these guys when they're playing so well. The offensive line is so good. They're just blowing out teams early and getting everybody in there. This should be another blowout. We'll see. Northwestern got beat by Tulane, so I just don't see it being a close game. I'd love to play Whittington on any other slate, 5,600, but it's just it's really tough to get to him at 5,600 when there's other guys kind of in that range. So, I mean, I think I'd rather play a guy like Decorian Moore at 5,900 or Sadiq at 5,500. One of those receivers. We saw it last week, but we're more. House one, a long one, and he looked really good. I think he's probably the best freshman receiver right now. And then, if you want to run it back, you can play a guy like Griffin Wild, who's 7 and 9 targets the first 2 weeks. He's only 4,500 on the Northwestern side, but it's just hard to play Oregon guys when they're going to run out so many. But I guess more in tournaments is solid, and then Wild on the other side.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense here, and I can't wait for Big T to tell me how big of a trap Oregon minus 27.5 is, because I'm just sitting here staring at this line. It doesn't make a damn thing of sense to me here, Big T. Am I an idiot for liking Oregon in the spread? Tell me why I'm an idiot, because you were right. You were right about UK last week when I said Mizzou was going to beat or Ole Miss is going to beat their butt. Am I stupid to like Oregon this week in the spread?
I mean, if you're ever laying 4 touchdowns on the road where they travel across the country, I would say you're not exactly like on the sharp path. I'll say that much. No matter how bad Northwestern is. I mean, you got a team from the West Coast going to Northwestern for what? That's a 2 or 3 hour. What's Northwestern? Central? Probably Central.
Chicago.
So 2-hour time difference. I mean, I think that's destined for a letdown after they just pounded Okie State. I'm not saying I like Northwestern either. Like, I'm not excited to go in there and hop on the Northwestern train, but I am definitely not excited to lay 4 touchdowns on the road on a Saturday morning. I'll say that much. Oregon, as far as fantasy too, I kind of agree with Bruce, where I know Rubio had a little tingling in his shorts last week to play Noah Whittington. He felt very good about it, and I don't know. He's 5,600. I still don't understand what's the deal with the good running back that just doesn't get any run. Like what?
Mekhi Hughes. It's literally game plan is what Dan Lanning says. It's just like, oh yeah, we have more runs for him or whatever, but then we check out the passes. Just seems like he's not a big part of the offense right now.
Are they like saving him for something is my question. Like, at some point, is he going to be unleashed? I mean, he got 9 carries last week, total blowout. His price is just crazy cheap now. I mean, I don't know how you can really pull the trigger on it. I'm just saying, like, at some point, I mean, it's just weird. I mean, the guy he's crushed in the past. He goes to a good run system. You would just assume he's good. Like, at some point, he's going to have a big week. I don't know if it's this week, because let's face it, it's a road game. Northwestern stinks. I'm just saying, just bookmark it, because 9 carries isn't that crazy. I don't know. I'm at least bookmarking it here, and I'm circling back on it, because that price point, if you like Oregon and somehow he gets more carries, because, I mean, how many did Whittington get? I'm just curious. He got
4.
4. I was expecting more than 4 when I looked. I don't understand it, I guess. So what about just pure snaps? Let me pull up Bruce's sheet. Do you have it up, Bruce? What
it was 15% for Whittington and 23% for Hughes, with Whittington starting.
Whittington did not play after the first quarter. I'm convinced because he didn't get a stat after the first quarter.
Sure.
And you're just someone's just edging you at 91 yards for an entire 3 quarters left. You don't get it. It was $5 because that was a few $100 right there. I was really pissed off at that.
I don't get it though. Like, so there's that other dude is that 3K guy getting more work? What was his workload? The Lamar,
he 35%.
So he played. Well, it was a blowout too, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying this is just a total field call from me. I think the Hughes projections might be a little wrong. They haven't. The problem is they're not going to be tested again this week. But I don't know. I just feel like he could be more of the number one than people think, and his price point is very, very cheap for this spot. So I don't like other plays in this game, but for whatever reason, I'm just saying it. Just bookmark him. No one's going to play him. His projection's terrible. He has 30-plus point upside, though, in a spot where no one's going to play him. So bookmark it. I don't like anything else in this game, though.
All right. Perfect. You hear that, Mekhi Hughes. And then, obviously, DeCorian Moore, you said the best freshman wide receiver in the country, Bruce?
Yeah, true freshman. I'd say so.
I like that.
The problem is they just got like 17 receivers. Like, it's so frustrating.
Well, that what I love about that, though, is now I'm going to track DeCorian Moore's career, and I'm going to follow him into the NFL, just like I did with Jalen Waddle, because Bruce called him the best, freshman wide receiver in the country at the time.
Bruce knows freaking receivers and tight ends like nobody I've ever seen. He always calls them.
So now, you know what the best part is, too? When I talk to my dad later on tonight, I'll be like, Bruce said DeCorian Moore is the best freshman wide receiver in the nation. My dad's going to watch Oregon and be like, yeah, he's got talent, I guarantee you that's going to be.
You don't do it like me. I just use Bruce's info and act like it's my own, and then I look smart. my dad, this guy, he's got a lot of talent out there. I'm just joking.
Oh, it's good stuff. My dad loves like watching like talented players. Like, he was all over Jeremiah stuff. Like, obviously being an Ohio State fan, but he'll love tracking some DeCorian Moore too. I really like that.
Rubio, do you got? I wrote this down actually in my notes for the show. Why is Clemson performing so bad? I first note I've ever taken for the show. Oh yeah, it's because they suck, DB. That's why they've been. That's why they've been bad the first couple weeks.
Oh God! Don't show our boy Az. Az is he's been traveling to the games. You got to watch him struggle against Troy there. I think he saw them lose the first week as well. But they'll rebound, Big T. I mean, what is it? This is a tight spread, though. I think this was just a few points when I think I looked at it. What was it, 3.5 or 3? Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's an ACC matchup. We had a lot of high hopes for a guy like Cade Klubnik coming into the season. You had Bryant Wesco, and we had Williams get hurt in that first game too. I mean, Bruce, you heard what Big T's thoughts are. I mean, do you agree with Big T that Clemson just sucks?
Yeah, they haven't looked good. I thought, they have had everybody coming back for the most part. They've not looked good at all. The quarterback's been terrible. They almost dropped that game last week to Troy. The offensive line has looked solid when you look at the numbers, but they haven't. I thought Randall looked okay last week, but these other guys, like the young guys like Davidson, that I thought was going to be really solid this year, just a true freshman, hasn't done anything really for the first couple of weeks. But yeah, it's the passing game has struggled just a little bit, and I think part of that is the injury to their stud, whose name is escaping me right now, Antonio Williams. I think he got injured on that, one of those early drives against LSU, and team hasn't looked the same. I think this week they're going to have to throw it a little bit more because this Georgia Tech defensive line is solid. They should start Tyler Brown, who's 3,800. Bryant Wesco and TJ Moore are also there. They're both in that mid 5K range. Both of them should start as well. But yeah, I think this game stays kind of low scoring. I like Georgia Tech's defense. And you know what they're going to do. They're going to try and run the football with Haynes and Haynes. So I don't really have any interest in Jamal Haynes, but I do like Haynes King here, just as a running quarterback option for tournaments. And he's 40% usage as a quarterback is pretty hard to beat. And I think he's solid. These receivers for Clemson are also in play here. I do like Tyler Brown at the price point.
Yeah, Tyler Brown, a pretty cheap option as well. Haynes King went off a couple of weeks ago on a night slate too. Having him when he's just able to run the ball like literally every play is just gravy. And then our guy Gavin says that Dabo Sweeney is more washed than Big T's high school gym shorts. I mean, man, that's what you seem to be on the side of Clemson. It's just not
those
it.
Things
right?
got a lot of use on mom's couch too. You had to recycle those things every weekend when you get a little action going on the couch. So I agree with that. I do agree with that, Gavin. But even though I don't love Clemson, these prices are pretty crazy. Adam Randall, too cheap at 6,200, one of the better running back plays. But then these receivers, I mean, Wesco, I just agree with the dude in the chat. JB Hughes, Wesco will eat. I mean, 5,600, his projection from Bruce, 16.88. So like a 17 projection for 5,600. I think he's got even more upside than that. And then you got Tyler Brown, like you said, 3,800. I think you can project him for double digits too in there. And then Klubnik, I don't like Klubnik, but he can run a little bit. He's got cheap options, which is what I love in college. Anytime I can play a quarterback with two receivers that are underpriced and have upside, that's a nice little three-man stack for me. And honestly, this is one of the first game stacks that I could make a case for because Haynes King is just always going to be in play with the style he plays. He's always got upside, like he just always does. And then you got same thing, receivers that you can at least play. Not as good as the Clemson guys. The Clemson guys are really, really good receiver plays. But Rutherford, Rivers, I hate when you pull up this freaking chart that doesn't mean anything. Like the little pie chart where there's just stuff shooting up in the middle. There's no way anyone on this show gets anything out of that pie chart. Chat, tell me if I'm wrong. Do you guys like it when Rubio puts up the pie chart? I refuse to believe anyone likes that. Bruce, what do you think? Do you think people like the pie chart?
It's a bar graph, not a pie chart thing.
Whatever, bar graph or whatever he just called it. Do you like the bar graph? Like, look at that thing. There's no way people like that.
I don't even know what it's telling me here.
I still don't know what it shows. Rubio explained it last week. He thought he was so smart. Like, the 40th percent outcome on a Saturday at noon. This is, I mean, unbelievable.
All right, fine. Damn, I won't pull it up anymore. I thought people would like. Let's say they were like,
look at that chart, Rubio. What does that thing tell you?
With their percentage of sims where they landed on fantasy points. All right, look, all I'm doing is if you mention a guy and someone
isn't everybody's the same though, where it like does the same thing?
Well, no, because let's go to Haynes King. I mean, yeah, look, maybe
it looks the exact same as the other one. Like you can't tell me it doesn't. It looks the exact. I love SaberSim. Let me be clear. I love SaberSim. I use it for the pie chart things or whatever the hell you called it are just not the best option from
I'm trying to find an example. All right, come on.
They're all going to look the same. Just click the same one and change the name. There's one that looks a little different. He must be a scrub. There was nothing in there.
Hold on. If you go down to a guy with zero protection.
Yeah, but there you go.
Shane Marshall taking strays.
Yeah, look at that one. You probably found a difference right there.
71% of the time, he gets zero. That's pretty good stuff right there, I'll tell you.
Just bring those up in the future. Those are the best.
The reason why I pulled it up is because I felt like people, like, if you mentioned you were like Rutherford and people didn't hear, who's he talking about? They see Rutherford's bar graph pop up. I thought that people would like it, but you know what? I won't do that anymore. I won't go the extra mile. You guys
can coming in on him too, explaining it without understanding it and hope no one calls him out. Wow.
What do you mean? It's a percentage of where they perform, like in the sim. So it's like he gets 40 fantasy points and 6% of the sim. That's where he lands at. It's not crazy. I mean, I what else could it mean?
Let's be honest, Rubio. When you're at home, you're pulling these up, aren't you? And you're checking them out. That you giving that clicker?
Nah, the one thing I would use is the correlation, how much they correlate with another guy, but usually it's just,
this is what I care about. Give me a chart on bar in the pants. Like, I want to know how big they are in the drawers. You can give me that, then I'll play a guy.
Go to the 30 marker and you see 9.
That actually looks like a pretty good shaft size. I mean, that graph looks big compared to
Let's get SaberSim on that. That sounds like a good. That sounds like a good graph to me.
Oh God! Oh wait! I know this movie, American Pie.
Warm apple pie in the kitchen.
I know that movie. That's not too old for me, DB. I can understand that one. False flag chart. I love it. Anything else to add here, Big T? You say it's one of your favorite game stack games already, right?
Yeah, it goes together nicely. I don't love the receivers from Georgia Tech, but I do think they have upside to plop in a game stack.
All right, perfect. We'll move on from Clemson and Georgia Tech to a battle of Big Ten versus SEC showdown. Alabama righted the ship last week, and a large part of it had to do with Jeremy Bernard, who looked really good early on. That was the night slate too, Bruce. I mean, I think that what the Bama stack, if you had Ty Simpson and Jeremy Bernard in that first half, you were looking really good. We'll get to USC in a second, but you had Maeva and, Lemon, that wide receiver, Malachi Lemon. He just absolutely crushed. But yeah, I mean, this is a Bama team where it still feels like they're trying to figure out exactly what they are. The Ryan Williams situation doesn't really help a ton. I see you got him projected about 13. I still assume that there's some, concerns about whether he'll be a full go for this one as well. Kevin Riley is only 3K at the running back spot here, and you gave him a pretty healthy projection too for 3K. I mean, as far as 3K shitters go, he's got to be one of the top guys, right, Bruce?
Yeah, ownership should be up there for sure. He's a young kid. They had been starting Richard Young there, and then they gave him the surprise start last week. He's actually from Tuscaloosa as well. I thought he looked really good against Louisiana Monroe. He went 11 for 69, and I thought he looked solid. I didn't even know that wasn't Richard Young out there until until I turned up the volume, but he looked good. He's probably going to be the most owned 3K guy this week. For some reason, the last few weeks, you've got those 3K guys down there, like Cooper last week, the SMU receiver. He was 3K and he was only like 12% owned, starting. Just because the salaries have been kind of to the point where you don't really need those guys. But he scored well. He scored like 17 DK. So I think he's going to come in higher owned than 12%, maybe double that. It's a good play, but I can see it also where maybe he fumbles early and Richard Young comes in and kind of takes most of the carries here. Much tougher opponent, Wisconsin, even though they're kind of down as well. I hate their quarterback. Their quarterback position right now. They're starting Danny O'Neal, who was at San Diego State last year and hasn't looked great this season. Kind of filling in for Billy Edwards, who's been hurt. And if I'm going to play anybody, it's everybody on the Bama side. They are at home. Ty Simpson looked solid last week. They put up 73 on Louisiana Monroe. Bernard has looked great. He's kind of looked like the alpha, even with Ryan Williams in there. So week one he had 14 targets, which is really, really solid. And you have Rico Scott there as well, Isaiah Horton. On the Wisconsin side, I don't have much interest, but they're going to be trailing. So Lance Mason looks good. He had 8 targets last week. He's a big tight end, 26% usage on the as a receiver. So I think he's not bad as a value option, 3,500. And I just think Bama rolls here. It's a pretty easy win for them.
Yep, I'm kind of with you here, Bruce. And, I'm kind of glad maybe some of this Ryan Williams steam is kind of wearing off on people a little bit, because I felt the comparisons to Jeremiah Smith was like comparing Wembanyama to Bol. There's a large gulf and talent there.
These are the freaking takes I'm talking about. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Bol to Wemby?
Yeah, I Jeremiah Smith is the top of the class. I think comparing anyone to him was a disrespectful thing to do. And Ryan Williams is good, but come on now.
He's 18 years old.
That's a fair point, but he's nowhere near Jeremiah Smith's class right now, and that's why Jeremy Bernard's a true number one in Bama, and he's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing with this game, though, Tony? I mean, this is a classic Bama roll spot. Wisconsin hasn't shown us anything. But you got no Billy Edwards for Wisconsin, so their offense is just looking like a mess. They got a dude who spells Dylan weird in their bag. D-I-L-I-N.
That is a weird spelling of Dylan. I mean,
that kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the way that was spelled, it kind of pissed me off. But other than that, I mean, this is
just asking for trouble when you spell your kid's name like that. They're gonna have troubles their whole life with that. I mean, that's just brutal.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, he gets asked 18 times a year, how do I pronounce that? Like, are you sure it's Dylan? Like, just
everyone's gonna misspell it too. Like, it's just a disaster. But this game, Alabama's looked bad to me. Ty Simpson's okay. Jeremy's been around a while. Looks really good at times. I think he's a good play. I think Simpson's a fine play. Obviously, Riley is going to be popular. I hate to say 3K guys are bad plays, but it's 100% going to depend on how owned he is. Like right now, we got him like 25% owned, 30% owned. If he's that high, I always like the 3K guys when they're either just lock city or low owned just to make the team different. Rubio's off to a tough start with the pie charts and then that comparison. He's off to a tough start. I put him in a tough situation before the show. He had a couple things he was working on. It got him tilted coming in. So there's the pie chart. I respect that pie chart on him. I don't know, though, about Kevin Riley. I don't feel confident in him getting a ton of work, but also he's 3K. Maybe he gets more. I mean, last week, what was the final score in that game?
73-0.
What was it?
73-0.
That's what they got 73 for.
Yeah, they were pissed. Yeah.
So, and he still only went 11 for 69. He had 5 carries the first week.
Tons of catches. I think he had like 6 catches, something like that.
6 for 45 catching. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good play. I'm just throwing it out there that it's tough for it not to be a good play at 3K. I just don't know if he's got like 20-something point upside. And even at 3K, if he's chalky, if he gets like 12, 13, you can get around that in other places. And there's a bunch of like good running back plays. So I don't know. He's a good play. I don't love anything else in this game. If Ryan Williams, just to own Rubio, if he's really going to be 2% owned, I don't mind just putting on the Ryan Williams jersey and just staring Rubio down as he houses 3 long ones.
Hey, you can look like I did with the Altmaier stand. Yeah. I was cheering.
Did you have the Altmaier jersy on?
You know what? I kind of want to get. He's surely got an NIL deal where that can get.
You can buy jerseys these days.
Yeah, it's not like the old days where you had to go in like number 2 for Ohio State to get like a Terrell Pryor jersey. No, we're going to just straight name in the Illinois jersey player. So yeah, I mean it's interesting. Rico Scott, king of the air yards. I love that. I love a nice guy who can catch a bomb there at 3,300. But yeah, I mean, like you said there, Big T. How many cheap guys do we have like on a week-to-week basis? And, Bruce, you mentioned it too. Like Cooper last week was really low owned. He got a big catch early on, then did nothing until overtime. And like, there is like, the sense of, these guys are beatable, especially if you have a different build. Last week, if you played the 3K guys, you didn't win. You know why? Because you probably didn't have Jamari Taylor. That's like the craziest part about it. At 4,300, he was the top scorer and no one won a hat or a polo or anything like that because no one guessed Jamari Taylor is the top scorer. So again, go to the comments after this show ends and guess the highest score for this slate. And we're going to do a giveaway to someone who gets it right. We haven't had anyone get it right through the first 3 weeks, believe it or not. So maybe you can be the one who finds the gem of Jamari Taylor. I think a lot of people guessed Sawyer Robertson last time out, and I think he was second. But our guy Jamari Taylor ended up getting there. And Bruce, I actually had a lineup with Jamari Taylor. But it did not have the legs because I think it was with Whittington, who you needed a minimum 25 or a 30 in almost every spot to contend at the top, especially with that Baylor SMU stack. I mean, if you faded Kevin Jennings with Sawyer Robertson, man, you were looking good. But yeah, I have nothing else to add there. Oklahoma and Temple. Big T, I'm actually, you know what? I always do the order of Bruce first, but I gotta let him talk about John Mateer here because he
bring me in to talk about a real quarterback because Bruce started our season this year telling me, and it's caught me off guard too because I don't remember the order of how we did. We like talked about it, and somehow or another, I brought up this dude. We were probably talking about his dumb Venmo thing where he put the bet in the Venmo slip. The dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, by the way. If you ever make a bet with someone and you're like a college, high school athlete, you don't put proof in the freaking description. Come on, man. Like that's not what you want out of you. It's like the quarterbacks that fail the Wonderlic test. Like, you got to have some common sense here to make it to the finish line. But on the field, I mean, the guy's just a beast. I don't know. I can't wait to hear Bruce's take on him because I don't know why he doesn't like him. I love him, though. I mean, just all the upside in the world. The only issue is it's a road game at freaking Temple. Like, the same reasoning I give Rubio. I can't be a hypocrite with these things. I mean, you're going to Temple on a Saturday morning when you're Oklahoma. I just don't think, I mean, how up are they going to be for this game? But he does got all the upside, and he's got a guy like Deion Burks who's just a beast who has all the upside in the world. You got cheaper guys like Lewis who looks pretty good in our run pure projections. You got a lot of guys. You got another 3K running back that honestly I think might be better than the Bama guy, Torrey Blaylock. He looks pretty good to me. Decent projection, 3,100 going against Temple. I could see pivoting to the ground game a little bit here with Blaylock and Barnes. Just, I didn't even realize they got terrible too. I mean, man, that guy was rough. But I don't know. It's a tough spot going to Temple. I think they might be asleep for some of this game, but man, these guys are good. I don't know. Something on my eye just makes me want to pivot to this ground game. I didn't realize at first, though, that Ott was there in my head. So they got 3 running backs. I like Blaylock, though, at 3,100, a decent amount. And then the Temple side, what is this, though? Every game we've had so far is not the Clemson game. Every other game we've had a good team versus a bad team, though. And the thing about all these games like this, I see no reason really to play a Temple guy. So you're just going to eliminate that. And how much Oklahoma run you get is going to depend on how much you play. But if you think this game stays remotely close, I mean, Mateer has to be the top point getter. He's 9,400, so you don't have to play him. But as far as upside, I would say he's got the highest point total. Pull up the pie chart. Let's see how high his pie chart is.
Yeah, let's check the pie chart. Oh, yeah.
Woo! Look at that chart, baby.
That's some big bars right there. Yeah, look at that. It's more than the 9% that we had for who was the last quarter? Haynes King. Yeah, he's got a taller pie chart or a taller bar.
I wish you could like compare 2 people and like just see the difference in pie.
That would be you know what? You can recommend that to Saber. You know,
good idea.
Yep. Yeah, I'll let him know. Big T wants this. He loves the bar graph, right? He calls it a pie chart, but you know that's tilting me more than anything is you continue to call it a pie chart. I don't know why, but it's bugging me because it's not.
You like the charts. You're defending them. You're allowed to defend them.
Like, come on now. The pie chart circle, right? It looks like a pie. What part of that looks like a pie? All right, that's all I gotta say. Bruce, save me here. I do like what Big T said about playing. You know, his take on Kevin Riley, right? Where he's going to be pretty high owned. Only 31% of the snaps last week. However, obviously, blowout indicates like a lot. It could be higher for Riley. But if you got like Torrey Blaylock, who's not going to be anywhere near that ownership, who's kind of projecting in a similar ballpark, you like that pivot there as a tournament dart?
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. If you look at Temple's schedule so far, they've played UMass and Howard, and they beat UMass. UMass played UConn, I think, week 1 or week 2, and played them pretty close. So maybe they're better, but they've won by big margins both of those games so far. New coach there as well, and Blaylock is 3,100. Like you said, good offensive line against the bad defensive line. They should put up some points here. He's averaging about 9-10 touches a game, so I don't mind him at all. He can break one. I thought he looked good against Michigan last week too, so I don't mind that at all. The problem with Mateer, the issue I had with him coming over from Washington State was his competition he faced, which was literally no one. So I can't wait for him to get into SEC play to kind of see what he looks like. He made a lot of mistakes, even in at Washington State, and just trying to see what he does against SEC defenses is intriguing. But this shouldn't be a game he struggles at all. This should be a game he runs for 100 yards maybe, if the game kind of stays close, and passes for over 200 at least. I like Burks, Lewis. If you want a guy on the other side, it's Bermudez. He's only 3,600, 23% usage as a receiver, and he's free. I think he started at Cincinnati and maybe went to Delaware. I think he's been around a little bit, but he's a solid receiver, a little small slot guy. So I think he's a good play if you're looking for someone to run it back with, because they're going to have to pass. And Evan Simon, the quarterback, was at Rutgers before, and he's very accurate with the short stuff. So I think you can get him the ball enough times to score well at 3,600.
There's no better name for a slot guy than JoJo. I mean, like, I wasn't interested in any Temple piece until you tell me JoJo Bermudez. That's a great name for me to click on. But 3,600 also kind of like, if you did want to go with like the stud running back side of things, you needed a cheap receiver to make it work, at least in the 12 o'clock games, right? Because we haven't gotten to the 3:30 stuff. But that's like the first true value receiver. Outside Klein, 3,700 for him was like pretty decent tag. But, I could see myself going cheap at wide receiver and maybe avoiding like a Riley and some tournament builds and kind of differing the build that way, where you go like 5 or 6K running backs over, a couple punt running backs, which does seem like the move right now in cash games with like Riley with, other pieces. Nothing else to really add on this game. You guys summed it up. Now we're going to go into a real game here, which is Georgia at Tennessee. I'm looking forward to watching this one. We are already into the 3:30 set of games, but actually a lot of these games are actually after the 3:30 mark on this slate, so that'll be interesting. Bruce, I'm going to start with you here. Aguilar has actually looked pretty good for Tennessee. Kind of curious to see how they perform in this spot. Didn't they kick some butt earlier in this season as well? They went against Syracuse. That's what it was. And then you got Georgia, where, it just feels like this is the first true litmus test for both these teams. I think this is going to be a nice measuring stick. Obviously, SEC play starts up. Florida's schedule looks absolutely daunting, and everyone's schedule looks absolutely daunting. I looked at UK's the other day. It just seems like this will be a battle that you'll just see constantly throughout the season, and the SEC matchups will probably be the most fun to watch on a week-to-week basis. Tell me about Georgia and Tennessee here.
Yeah, the big thing I'm looking for in this one is the passing game of Georgia. They're kind of they've been very vanilla early on. I think they're around like 1.8 air yards or something per completion, which that's hard to play in DFS, and unless they're making big plays after the catch. The one guy that can do that is Zachariah Brandt. He is 5,200, getting about 5 targets per game so far. He's kind of their big play guy over from USC, of course. I don't mind him if you're going to play anybody there, but I think Georgia wins this game. They've just done so well against Tennessee in the past. It's hard betting against them to win this one. I think they kind of open it up a little bit more. They're going to have to. Gunnar Stockton has been just okay so far. Has been very accurate with the short stuff, but the running game hasn't really gotten going. I saw Chauncey Bowen scored last week. His price is up a little bit from that 3K we got week 1. Nate Frazier's always solid, 6,300. Just always hard to play a Georgia running back on any slate, just because they divided up so much. So that's been the case this whole season so far. And I hate playing guys against Georgia's defense, just because it's always pretty solid, and they've been good this year so far as well. But if you're going to play a guy, I guess it's one of these receivers. You just hope for one of them to hit over the top, which Tennessee loves to do, is run the football, establish it on the ground, and then hit you over the top with the deep pass. But like Brazel or Mike Matthews, the 5-star receiver, is solid. Braylon Staley's kind of been good. All those guys are in the under 5,300, so that's not terrible. My guy that I want to look at a little bit more is Noah Thomas in this game. I think he's cheap at 3,700, and if they want to open up the passing game, I think they get him more time there. I think he's a good tournament play. Other than that, I just think this game is just kind of slow and defensive. So just kind of maybe playing a piece or two from the Georgia or Tennessee side.
So, Bruce, I'm going to ask you a question because I think this is the game of the day, right? I think a lot of people are going to bet it too. And Big T, I'm going to get your take here in just a second too. But who wins this game, Bruce? Because I got my opinion. I'm going to save it until after you both share. But who wins this game?
Yeah, I think Georgia wins. Aguiar's a decent quarterback, but he hasn't played in like a game that's kind of like this. It's a huge game.
All right, Big T. Are you on the same boat? Are you thinking Georgia is going to come into Tennessee, into Neyland Stadium, old Rocky Top, and kick their ass?
I don't know about kick their ass. I think it's a close game, but I think Georgia wins too. I don't like Tennessee all that much overall. I don't think they're as good as they've been the last few years as far as overall talent. Georgia might not be either for the record. I don't know if they're as talented either. So I'm with Bruce on this one, Georgia, but who you got? Tennessee, just to be the contrarian. There you go. Get in there.
I was going to be on an island. I didn't expect to be on the island. I thought, here, can I just picture something? I thought, Bruce would go either way. And I thought you were going to be like on the road in SEC play. I'm not a believer in Gunnar Stockton. Tennessee is going to whoop their butt. Georgia's offense is not going to do anything, and they're going to try and rely on Nate Frazier all game. It's not going to work. All right. And I was going to be like, yeah, you're right. And then you went with Georgia. So I can't back that up. But that's my take. I think going into Tennessee here, and if Georgia played anyone like remotely decent, like in the first couple of weeks, I just think a hard hitting SEC game to kind of start out. And, after they played like Austin Peay, I just think they're going to be in for a little bit of a wake up call to start the game. But
who did Tennessee play? Friggin'
Syracuse.
They
played a Power 4
battle tested or what?
A Power 4 school is a Power 4 school. It's better than
Syracuse is all of a sudden like some crazy test.
This is my guy Tanner T-botted with the disrespectful saying Marshall. Yeah. That's a Marshall grad right there.
I do think the prices in this game are interesting, though. I don't think there's a ton of points. I think it is play. Sabres got it at 28-24. The total's 50 or something. I think it plays under the total. But look at these prices. Both quarterbacks are 6K or less. The receivers are all 5,200 or less. I definitely don't like the running backs. I'll say that much. I don't like the running backs at all. There's a lot of them. I will not play running backs, but I think you can pair up some receivers. And honestly, these Tennessee guys catch my eyes a little bit. Aguiar at 5,300, and then Brazel and Staley. What'd you say about Staley, Bruce? Is he like a beast or something? What'd you say about him?
Yeah, he's looked good early on. He caught a long touchdown against Syracuse, if I'm not mistaken.
I like it. I like this. And that $20 on DraftKings, stack this game up a little bit with both quarterbacks, and you can play the dude from USC, Zachariah Branch. He's got upside with some speed. And then I like the double stack from Tennessee with Staley and Brazel. So I think this game quietly, even though I don't think it shoots out, I think you got a lot of upside here. Yeah, we need to see a pie chart on Braylon Staley to see how he looks in there.
We'll do Braylon Staley.
Let's see.
Let's check it out.
That's a very disappointing chart. It's left of the 10. I expect to see more upside from him.
It leans left, huh? That's weird. I think, let's see. I have a running back here that I like. I'm sorry.
You're not playing a running back in this game.
I am playing one from this game. That's it. I'm not playing a Tennessee one either. All right, I'm playing a Georgia one. I think Nate Frazier's really good. I think there's a chance that he could get the ball in his gut 20 times.
The pie chart says otherwise.
Well, the pie chart's wrong. All right, the pie chart is wrong. Here's the thing. I just think that he could easily play. He could easily be the alpha dog in a game where it's a litmus test, and you're going on the road to Tennessee. They're not going to just try
You just made the whole sales pitch on Tennessee. Now you love Nate Frazier on the road. You're doing what that dude that used to write the articles for us, where he'd recommend the over on something, and then he'd come back with the under on the team total or something. Like, what are we doing here?
You go for 20 carries for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. You still only score 14 points. All right, Tennessee is going to come in and win, but I'm thinking if there's going to be a guy who's going to be effective on this Georgia offense, Nate Frazier is going to be that guy. Gunnar Stockton. I'm not a believer in Gunnar Stockton. I'm sorry. All right, no, I'm out. I'm out. All right, is he better than Carson Beck? No, Carson Beck was better, and I can't believe I'm saying that. In this time period, but. I'm not a believer in Gunnar Stockton. I'm going to be completely selling on him, and I think Nate Frazier is going to have to carry a load if Georgia's going to want to stand a chance. And I think there's a chance. You made a damn case for Mekhi Hughes. I can make a damn case for Nate Frazier. All right.
You were right about one thing. He is going to carry a load.
If you're going to talk about Hughes, give me some Frazier love. All right, 6,300, a guy who could be the bell cow in an important game for Georgia on the road. You know what? Now I'm going to be cheering for Georgia. Damn you, Big.
I just don't understand how you can give a whole sales pitch to bet Tennessee and then bet the running back the other way.
I didn't. It's fantasy. Fantasy football is different.
It's about accountability here, Rubio. We got to hold you accountable on this show.
I also like this take from Hammer. Nico sucks.
Everybody's better than Nico. I despise Nico.
And
I like our Illinois boy better than Nico.
Yeah, I would take Altmaier over Nico. Nico is favored tonight, by the way, by 2 touchdowns.
He's going to be 40% owned. Yeah, he's going to be 40% owned.
He's the chalk of the slate. I better load up tonight then if he's the chalk of the slate. Who do they play? A high school team?
New Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico. Yeah. He might actually crush versus New Mexico.
Oh.
I mean, they played UNLV last week, and I mean, he didn't look fantastic.
No, I mean, he's bad. Like, he's legit bad.
UNLV looked terrible in those first 2 weeks, too, and he still didn't look great last week.
Whatever happened to that quarterback that left UNLV when they were undefeated because he didn't get enough money?
He was on a slate like last week. Yeah.
Where's he at, though?
He plays – he splits time at quarterback with somebody. Man, what slate was that? I can't remember.
Did the move not work out well for him?
No, he looks okay.
He's only splitting time though. He's not a full-time starter. He was undefeated.
Old Dominion. That's right. Yeah,
yeah,
he's with his old coach there.
You leave
James Madison. James Madison, not Old
Dominion. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, I would leaving UNLV. Okay. Let's go to the backyard brawl. All right. This is a classic Big East showdown. Oh wait, the ACC showdown. And we get some Pittsburgh going on against West Virginia. Eli Holstein is taking the reins here at quarterback. Desmond Reed, one of the top running backs for fantasy in the nation. Got Raphael Williams as well. Lots to like about Pittsburgh. West Virginia looked bad last week. Didn't they lose to, was it Ohio who beat them head-to-head there, Bruce? And I know Ohio, they go against Ohio State. The only reason why I know that is because my dad's like, Ohio's no joke. They beat West Virginia. And Ohio State will take on Ohio and Saturday as well. West Virginia, 6,600. You got our guy Nico. You got Cam Vaughn at 4,600. Rodney Gallagher. Lots to like about this pace. I know you were in the comments, responding as well. This game is a really high pace. A lot of fantasy points to be had. Is it the number one game on the slate to target here, Bruce?
I think it's up there. The problem is, will West Virginia keep it close? That's the major question. If they do, it could be a really fun game because it's gonna go fast with their with their new offense, and they'll have to sling it around the stadium. So and run with Desmond Reed, throw it to him a ton. So 36% usage for Desmond Reed at running back is crazy. And the West Virginia defensive line looked terrible last week. I just think they have tons of issues on both sides of the ball. They brought in a new coach and he brought a bunch of his players over from Jacksonville State. Kind of not they just haven't looked great so far. Poppy Williams at 5K. Even have a guitarist Hicks at 3,500. He transferred in from Louisville, and he's looked good. I heard rumors that he might be their number one receiver eventually, and he's looked good. And he's only 3,500 here. I think I'll have quite a bit in tournaments for sure. Cam Vaughn has looked good. Got receiver for West Virginia. He's one of those guys that came over from Jacksonville State, and he was good there. I think he's a solid play. Jaheim White is injured, out for the year. He tore a knee ligament, so they're gonna have a new running back as well. Last week, looks like Clay Ash got most of the carries, and he is 3,400. It's a tougher matchup here, so I don't know if I'd play him over the other 3K guys. Probably not, but he should get the majority of the work there, for that price. So that's not terrible. But yeah, I like this game. I think the quarterbacks are both in play. All the receivers are going to be passing it a ton, especially if Pittsburgh gets up early. West Virginia is going to have to go away from their rushing offense and pass it a little bit more than usual.
Our guy Redmond asked, Bruce, was this the game we overstacked last year and completely fell on its face? That felt like a lot of Pitt games last year.
It was terrible, but this is a new West Virginia offense. It's a lot quicker than last year's, and last year was terrible. I think it was like 14-9 or something crazy, and God, it was pretty terrible. But it was Pitt, so most of their games were pretty crazy last season.
I remember the UC Pitt game where UC blew that lead late in the fourth and did nothing the second half. I think Sorsby had like 280 yards back and then did nothing in the second half. It was some disgusting performance by UC. But yeah, that's interesting. Last year, in a game that kind of fell in its face. Hopefully not the same this time. Who was it that mentioned it was the running game? Ohio shut down the running game. Hans mentioned that. And if they lose, Jaheim White too, and Clay Ash going to step up. You got another cheap running back though. I mean, like Clay Ash and Bowers. I guess there's pivots off Kevin Riley. Big T, what are you doing with this game here between Pitt and WVU?
So I don't like to correct my fellow members, but this score was 38-34 last year. Pittsburgh, and we had Holstein 3 touchdowns. I was looking at some of the stats, but these teams aren't the same anyways. Like West Virginia had Garrett Green, who was just a beast, who we love to play fantasy-wise. Now, obviously, you don't have that. I mean, C.J. Donaldson looks good at a big school now. Garrett Green's gone. Jaheim White's out for the year. I mean, I'm looking at the stats just because I was curious what everyone did. None of the receivers did it. How in the world did they score that many points? Because none of their guys did anything. It's really weird looking. Maybe that's why we were thinking the game just busted. Even though there was a lot of scoring, no one did anything. Holstein barely had 300. Holstein did run for 59 last year somehow. It was the game too. Kenny Johnson did good. Desmond Reed somehow
nuked in the passing game.
I mean, all that though. I remember it not scoring great either. But I struggle with this game this year. I look at this West Virginia team, and I just really, really struggle with it. Is Nico for sure the full-time starter, or what's the deal with this Jalen Henderson guy?
He's from Texas A&M. Transfer. We played him last year on a few slates when he was on A&M for sure.
Man, it's just I think you could play like Nico. Cam Vaughn's going to be one of the better plays of the slate. I mean, Bruce has him for like a 15 projection, 4,600. I think he's a pretty good play. Ash, man, 3,400. I want to like him, but I just don't necessarily see it. And then the Pitt side, I mean, we've seen – that's what I like about college, because once I see guys, I feel like I know what to do with them. I know Holstein. He stinks.
Oh, my God.
You think he's good too?
I'm a believer in Holstein. I'm sorry.
What are you a believer in?
Is he a sophomore? He's a true sophomore, right?
He was in the nut spot every game last year. He was literally every week.
He's kind of like Mateer to me, where he just makes these dumb decisions.
Oh my God! Now you guys are just trolling me. You threw him in there. He's kind of like Mateer. Oh my God!
Or he makes these head shaking decisions sometimes, where he'll just throw it directly to the other team, and there won't be a receiver anywhere close.
I agree with that about him, but man, you just hurt my feelings. You threw my boy in there with him. I mean, I had to pause. You got me rattled there.
Even against Michigan last week, he threw a bad pass right to the cornerback. It was like, why do you even throw that? And And I don't know. They just do that sometimes. Both of those guys.
Some bad decisions for sure. I do agree with that. Yeah, but you do have two cheap receivers. Poppy and Kenny Johnson looked awesome last year. Holstein is affordable in a great spot. It is on the road, and Desmond Reed's always going to be in play. Pass game work, big play work, 8,500. And what you're going to see too when you start building is there's a lot of receivers that are 4 and 5Ks that are really good plays. So you will be able to spend up at running back if you want to. There's a lot of ways you can do it this week. These Pitt guys, I mean, Desmond Reed will always be in play. Every slate this year will be in play. He's got so much upside. So these Pitt guys are in play. And I do like how concentrated the offense is. Some of these teams have 10 pieces. I don't think Pitt has near as many pieces. Bell cow back. Receivers that we've seen last year, another year in the system. I mean, how many teams have this many key guys back in the system? So that is definitely a good thing for them. My issue is what Bruce said first, though. I'm worried about West Virginia competing in this one. I really am. I think Pitt might win by a lot in this game. I think it's a mismatch. What is the actual spread in this game? It is 7. So Pitt's -7, 56.5 total. I like Pitt on that spread. I just don't know if West Virginia can compete in this spot. But if they can, if you think West Virginia competes, then this game becomes even better. But for me, for right now, it's just the Pitt side for the most part. And Cam Vaughn, you have to pay attention to Cam Vaughn at 4,600.
I like these type of connoisseurs. It's just your typical NFL, it's your old school, old rivalries. Those games never blow out type style, and I could see this one kind of being the same with Morgantown being an effing madhouse for Pitt over the years too. I don't know. I kind of see the case for Pitt, and then every time it's just NWVU is the only thing holding me off. Right? I do want to bet Pitt though. I think that's just
what'd you just say? What were those initials? What was that?
What?
You just said NYVC or what? I don't know what you said. Some initials or something.
I think I probably said, but I'll be hesitant on betting Pitt, even though I really want to. It's kind of the case you were making earlier, where it's just it feels trappy, right? That's 7. It feels like Pitt's
I feel like people are gonna want one. I just think Pitt might be way better. That extra. So what were their scores the first 2 weeks? What was the
Duquesne and Central Michigan? They beat Central Michigan 45-17 and Duquesne 61-9. So they're this is their first. I mean, Central Michigan is. Okay, well, no, I'm not going to make the case for them, but yeah, it's their first real.
I like Pitt. I get what everyone's saying. I think Pitt might handle them here a little bit.
All right, I like it. I got nothing else to add here. I do think that I'll wake up in the morning to you posting a Kenny Johnson ladder. I don't know why, but I just feel like
I loved him last year.
Yeah, I know you did. I think it was the UC game you posted the Kenny Johnson ladder.
I love Poppy too. I actually like Pitt guys. If I could be talked into it.
We played Poppy the other in preseason a couple times, right, Bruce? We had our guy that Poppy with the Rams.
That was
or not Poppy. It was the other Pitt dude.
Yeah, the other Pitt guy.
Bartholomew?
No, It was
No, see, this is where I derail a show with just some
yeah.
Mumfield.
Oh,
thank you. You saved it. That was gonna bug me.
Dude, they had good players.
They did have a good wide receiving core. That's who we played. It was Mumfield, man. I kept blanking on that one. 4 games left. USC at Purdue. We got USC going all the way to Indiana. Glorious old Indiana. Big time favorites. Maeva is 8,900. You got Mekhi Lemon, who just absolutely crushed last week. Did it all in a quarter, it felt like. All of a sudden you look up and he had 25 fantasy points in a 5-minute span. I think I put Lemon scored, and then I came back. I think I was on the Saturday night show, and all of a sudden I looked. I'm like, oh my God, he's broken the slate. You got Wayman Jordan, who has been popular for us a couple times. Jacoby Lane in the first 2 weeks. USC being on the night slates kind of condenses the slates where you're forced to know these guys. For Purdue, you got Mockabee, you got Brown. Very cheap tags for them. It's all right projections, but again, it's not a very healthy team total here, Bruce. What are you doing with this game?
Man, this, coming into the year, I thought Purdue was going to be really bad. And they haven't really played terrible, I'd say. I thought week 1, Ryan Brown looked great. And our guy Michael Jackson as well. And if somehow they can keep this game close, this could be a really good game stack. There's not many good game stacks on this slate, other than a couple like blowout spots you can play. Play some of these other teams, but man, if somehow they can keep this close, this game could go nuts. I think last week USC had issues with was it Georgia State or Georgia Southern? I think Georgia Southern maybe, and allowed them to move the ball just a little bit. And it's 59-20 at the end of the game, but through the first three quarters, it was close enough where they kept the starters in there. So maybe Purdue can score a couple times here. Michael Jackson, a former USC receiver too, so he kind of has that revenge narrative there. He went to Georgia after USC, but he's 3,900, still low. Going to get some volume there, so I don't mind him. Our guy Branch, week 1, went bananas, and he's still good. Still 3,900. And if the game stays close, these guys like Wayman Jordan, 7,600, Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Lane. Jacoby Lane had a crazy touchdown catch last week. I posted in the Discord. Both of those guys are studs. They're both priced up, but Lemon just smashed last week, and he can pay off that tag pretty easy. So yeah, it's an interesting game for sure. And you mentioned Maccabee, always solid in the pass game and in the run game. So cheap pieces here, and probably my favorite sneaky game stack. I just think it's fun to stack up the tournament.
I love that take, but I really like going against USC because I don't think USC is that good. I don't think they get really any respect either, for what it's worth, in the AP poll and stuff. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of USC love to kind of go around. And this was funny when I looked at the box score from last week. I didn't really know what to expect, Bruce, when I pulled it up. But Big T, I'm going to ask you a question. All right, in a game against Southern Illinois, how many times did Devin Maccabee carry the rock? It's a way larger number.
I mean, I know he's a workhorse, so 25.
32 times against Southern Illinois for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think Bruce mentioned in the first show we did of the season that he needed to average a certain amount to break the school record on the ground. That very much felt like that. They ran the ball 41. This includes I don't think Southern Illinois pressured Brown much, but they ran the ball over 50 times last week and threw the rock 23 times. I have a hard time thinking that they're going to keep it close if they're going to be doing that, unless USC just completely is just trounced on the ground here. But Big T, we saw Michael Jackson in the week 1 slate for us absolutely go off at 3K, only 3.9K here as well. Do you see the case that Bruce is making on a cheap game stack? If you were to, buy some Purdue stacks here and, run it back with some Lemon and Wayman Jordan, I don't know. I kind of like that take from Bruce here, Big T. What are you doing?
I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign for everyone watching, but my hot take of the show is going to be that Purdue stays in this game, and this game absolutely nukes like that. So when Bruce said it, I'll admit I was getting a little rise under the desk, a little movement. I was getting a little excited about it. But another good part of this game is just how many really, really good plays there are. The USC passing game, I mean, you got obviously the quarterback's a good play, and then Lemon at 6,700, Jacoby Lane at 6,300 are just all the upside in the freaking world to go to. But then you got our boy Wayman Jordan, who I think is like an incredible play this week. Wayman Jordan, everyone's going to want to play. I mean, Lemon's going to be insanely chalky, which he should be at 6,700. But Wayman Jordan as a pivot off some of these passing game guys, and I think you could play him even with the passing game, like play quarterback, running back, receiver or something here. I think you could easily do that. And then Purdue gives us, in my opinion, the gifts of the slate. Ryan Brown is a gift. He's 5,100 against a USC team that, for whatever you want to say about, how long has Lincoln Riley coached? I want to see. What is this, like his 10th? I mean, he's 42 years old, so he's coached 2002 he was at Texas Tech, so he probably coached in 2007 or 8. So he's been around a while. He's always got all the offense, no defense. I just think this is the perfect freaking spot for Ryan Brown. And on top of it, no one's going to play him, and he's 5,100. He can run. Maccabee can catch dump-offs. And then you got receivers that are cheap. Michael Jackson, Branch, even like Horton or Tuggle you could throw in there as really cheap options. Man, this game, slam dunk city. And the best part for me, it's going to be low owned, which I haven't figured out how. Maybe everyone thinks Purdue just sucks, and let's be honest, maybe they do just suck. Some of the scores are bad. If USC could just wipe them, I just have seen this so many times from USC where when this game stays close, I mean, you're just gonna nuke. Who's the projection we love here? McCree,
tight end, right? Lake McCree, tight end.
Yeah.
Where we got him at?
He's 10? About 10, yeah.
Yeah, another weapon from USC. I mean, just a great game.
That's the greatest comment I've ever seen.
Don't be coming in here, CTK. I was excited. I had movement, and then you guys start making fun of me.
No, it was great. It was great.
That's how I worked through things in my head. I
like how you told us when he went to college, right? You were like 2002, so 2000.
No, I was looking up I hate you guys. You guys are mean. You guys are mean to me. I'm coming in with the fire takes here, and you guys are making fun of me. It hurt my feelings. It's okay, though, because we're going to win all the money in this game. I like USC, but truly, this Purdue stack, I think, is incredible. And honestly, you could play Brown and Maccabee with no receivers, too. I think that is in play in college. He could catch some dump-offs. The problem is these receivers are nice and cheap, too, Michael Jackson and Branch. So you probably want to put one of them in there, too, just because of how cheap they are. I love this game, and I love Purdue. So sign me up. I think this game goes way over the total, too. It's 20.5 is the spread, 60 is the total. I think it flies over. I can't believe Bruce was in on it. It makes me like it even more. Sign me up.
I love it. I love it. Should be a good time. Just one other thing I want to note, because I notated that, Purdue ran the ball a ton last week. Well, against Ball State, it was an even 29-29 split. So they're capable of throwing the rock at a decent clip, and they'll probably do that here. One last comment. Every time I see Wayman Jordan, I think of Wayman from Workaholics, and I just love that name.
Oh, yeah. That's such a good show. Underrated.
I don't even know what Workaholics is. I've never heard of it.
Boomer. All right, get out of here. You would love Workaholics.
Yeah, let's get weird.
Yeah, let's get weird. Get weird. Let's look at Oregon State. I'll tell you this.
What was it on?
Comedy
Central. Yeah.
You know Anders. And
I see the dude from Gemstones on there.
Yeah. I thought you were about to say Pitch Perfect. I thought he was going to say Pitch Perfect there, Bruce.
I've never seen that.
I don't know what Pitch Perfect is either. So.
Is that a baseball movie?
You guys are both wiped up and haven't seen Pitch Perfect? Anna Kendrick? No? Okay. Well,
I like her.
Yeah. That's a great movie. A great movie. They got 3 of them, or even 4. I probably didn't see the 4th.
Is that the one where they like dance all around? And you would like a dance movie.
Oh, man.
They sing a lot, but
you sit in front of the 100-inch and hold hands and watch it.
Yeah.
Look at pie charts.
What the pie charts on the laptop next to him?
Look at that. Hobbs knows. Look at that. Hobbs. There's 3 of them. Yeah, like he called that. And yeah, Nick
really good date night watch.
You would love Workaholics. Good date night watch. It's true. Max. Maybe you guys are just so off the market. You never had to pull that up. Yeah, exactly. Hobbs knows. Anna Kendrick.
I do like Anna.
Yes, absolutely. Oregon State taking on Texas Tech. So Texas Tech kind of went into the same filter last week where they blew out so fast, so early that none of their guys really had a chance to be optimal. And I'm kind of getting into that point, Bruce, where anytime there's just like a massive spread, like we're gonna have Texas and UTEP here. Like I'm not really gonna have any interest in Texas because the bar is so high to be in the winner nowadays. Like I really feel like you need to get 25 to 30, and some of these guys just don't get the chance. That was last week, obviously, though. This week you got a very healthy team total in Texas Tech with almost 40. Oregon State, not the worst. Like they can keep this, close to the ballpark. So guys like Dickey this week will have a little bit of a chance. Jacoby Williams, Morton as well. This game feels like it's going to be not quite one-way traffic, but it's like far as Oregon State goes, unless you're, into Malik Murphy. He's the former Duke guy, right?
Former Texas, baby.
Yeah, Texas and Duke.
So I love how
you respect Bruce's team.
Duke's a better school than Texas. I didn't think I was disrespecting.
Oh, man.
So, Bruce, how you doing, man? What do you like about this game?
You got a little stir from him there. He was glaring at you.
He did look at the camera. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
He gave you a side eye.
Malik Murphy's terrible. So I'm glad he moved him. That's
great.
I had high hopes for him, but man, he's been terrible. If Duke just moves on from you, there's
you got problems if Duke's moving on from you.
Yeah, I mean they did. They pretty much told him, we're going to bring in our guy from Tulane, and you can try and find somewhere else to go. So, but he did look good last week against Fresno and trailing script. He threw for close to 400 yards. His accuracy just leaves him randomly sometimes, and he looks terrible. So yeah, trailing game script for 5K. I don't hate it, but it's always hard for me to click his name just because I know I've seen him enough that it's rough. I think Texas Tech easily wins this one, but you got to consider Oregon State in a trailing script. I don't really want to play any Hankerson, even though his rushing usage is at 70%, which is crazy. He got 25 carries last week. When they were behind, they just want to run the football. So if they throw it to him enough, he could be in play. He's getting 4 targets per game. So maybe they throw it to him a little bit more, but he's 7,200. It's just tough to click that too. Both of the Texas Tech running backs are priced up. You have Adam Hill at 3,400, who got 43% of the snaps in the blowout game last week, and he looks solid. He's little Mangone out there, running the ball. So I don't hate that. Virgil for Texas Tech at 5,400. Kind of been the wide receiver 1 for them so far. Caleb Douglas, I had high hopes for him. He's fallen off a little bit, but he's too good. I don't mind him in tournaments. Terrence Carter, the tight end, has also been really good. 2 touchdowns already. I think he's a solid play. Then you have Walker and Reddix on the Oregon State side in a trailing script. We played Walker all last year. He's 5,300. Had 10 targets first game and 9 the second. Then Reddix had 15 targets last week in a trailing script. So I think both of those guys are in play. Reddix is only 3,700, which is crazy. So definitely like this game, but it could blow out. It could be a 50-7 type game. I think Texas Tech looks really, really good to start the year, and they got a good defense as well.
I like it. Big T, what are you on in this game as well?
So I think this game is very similar to the USC game. It's just the worst team is on the road this game instead of at home in the last game. Like you have similar totals each way, similar spreads, similar everything. It's just I like USC going on the road better than Oregon State going on the road. It makes it tougher. But there is pieces. I mean, Trent Walker has to be one of the best plays of the slate. I mean, he just has to be just pure volume. And this is where you really print in college football. Pull the pie chart up. There we go. Show the good pie. But 5,300 with, like Bruce said, 10 targets, 9 targets. You just fill your teams out with guys like this in college. And that's how you always get 25-point upside from everyone, because this guy can do that every single week. So much volume, cheap price tag. Love it. And even though I think Murphy stinks, again, I think DraftKings did a good job with pricing this week, honestly. Some of these bad teams, like when you make Murphy 5K, he just has to be in play. Like you can't not be in play at that price in a high total like this, because Texas Tech is similar to USC too, where they can give up points at times. We've always seen it. I don't like it as much as the last game, but there is pieces. I just, a lot of these guys are definitely in play. JJ Redick, Trent Walker. I mean, we got all these dudes in here that can play a little bit. So I do agree with Bruce too. Hankerson, I'm not going to play Hankerson. I mean, think how cheap you can get that double stack. Murphy with Walker and Reddicks, and then Texas Tech. I mean, you have every one of these guys is just great plays. Morton, if this game stays close, like Morton is going to crush Douglas and Eakin and freaking Virgil. All these guys are in play. Dickey and Jacoby Williams are awesome plays too. More so in a big win type game for me. But I love all these plays. And just a quick note too on the site that we don't talk about that has contests as well. These running backs are really cheap there, Jacoby and Dickey. So you're definitely going to want to bookmark them for the unknown site. But I like this game. I don't like it as much as the last game, but I do think you can stack this game up. And I'm happy about this week because the first couple of weeks I didn't really have a lot of game stacks I liked. And I love this game stack. And the good part about game stacks, if you're wrong, you lose, so what? But when you're right and when it snowballs in college, man, it snowballs hard. And that's how you just get skyrocketed to the top. When it's in the fourth quarter and it's going back and forth, score here, score there, you just moon rocket up, and it's a later game. I like this game more than I should. I'll say that.
I love it. I love it. Big T liking some Oregon State against Texas Tech and made this game explode just like the USC Purdue. That's back-to-back games with back-to-back game stack takes. I like it.
I want to say, too, you've been consistent the first 3 weeks. Exactly. I was impressed when I was looking at all the videos. Exactly 90 minutes all 3 weeks. You're not getting us there today. You got too many games left.
I looked at that.
I talked too much today.
It's your fault because I've tried. No. Let's move on to Iowa State.
A couple layups coming, though. You could backdoor it here.
No, I won't backdoor it. Iowa State and Arkansas State, though, with Rocco Beck and Carson Hansen at the helm. Iowa State has been frustrating at the wide receiver position here this season here, Bruce. And Arkansas State, self-admittedly, don't know anything about them. Teach me a little bit about Arkansas State here, Bruce.
Yeah, Iowa State looks too strong early on. And it seems like every time Arkansas State plays a school from a big conference, they just absolutely get crushed. So, I like Iowa State here. I think they roll. I think our boy Brahmer has been crushing every week, tight end. He has 3 touchdowns already this year. I know they have Burkle at the other tight end. Brahmer has to be in play at 3,800. It just 19% target share, 3 touchdowns is really solid. I think he's like 6'7", 6'8", just a big dude.
6'7".
Yeah, just a huge guy. So I love playing guys like that. Rocco Beck, man, it's always hard to click his name too because he just doesn't run enough. He's a great passer though. I mean, his passer rating is awesome. I think he's probably at the top of the one of the better QBs in the Big 12 for sure. Carson Hansen, has done well for us in years past with the touchdowns, but he has 0 so far this year. So maybe he busts out of that this week. You have Sama there as well, who scored 1. They've just been scoring on long passes a lot more, throwing it to the tight end once they get down there near the goal line. So I kind of like Brahmer here. Corey Rucker on the other side feels like he's been at Arkansas State forever. I know he transferred to South Carolina and came back, I think. He's 5,500. He's a stud. He shouldn't be at Arkansas State. I guess he just likes it there. I think he's a solid play. He's probably a future NFL guy if he keeps playing the way he has in years past. So they're going to be trailing. I don't mind him at all as a low-owned tournament guy.
I like it. Corey Rucker. There's what's not to love about Jonesboro, Arkansas. What a guy.
Yeah. Butch Jones and the Champions of Life. That's one of his famous things he said while at Tennessee.
All right. I like it. Tony, What are you doing here with ISU? This is my favorite comment, by the way. Found their new Charlie Kolar there, Brommer. As someone who's played Charlie Kolar every single preseason for like the last 3 years, I got a special appreciation for him. Big T, what are you doing with this game?
I'm going to help you with your time and say I definitely don't like anything in this game.
All right, even with the 37-point team total that Saber has for ISU, I'm kind of surprised. I thought maybe you'd be suckered into a little bit of Carson Hansen a little bit.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, I know. UTEP taking on Texas. We can go ahead and do this with UTEP, I assume. Wait, that Kenny Odom price. Holy cow! I didn't realize he was projecting so healthy there. But I got to say this, Livingstone. Wow, Bruce, that guy, he's got some wheels, and he looked really good last week. Wingo. I felt like Arch was trying to force the ball to Wingo a little bit just from watching that game, and Arch didn't really look completely healthy too. I know that one video is going around too with him grimacing with his shoulder after that throw near the goal line on his own end. Bruce, tell me though, what are you doing here with this Texas team, and is Wisner going to play this week as well?
I didn't play much of the running backs last week just because they've burned me so much in the past. And it paid off. I don't think the Texas offensive line has looked great so far. They're replacing most of the starters, and it may take a few weeks for them to totally gel. So I do like the passing game. I know once I play the passing game here, the running game's going to go off. But I don't mind Arch going back to Arch here again. Wingo should have had a long catch, but he dropped it over the middle. It was right in his hands. It was oh man, pissed me off watching the game. But Livingstone is just crushed. I think he might be the real deal. I kind of compare it to Helm last year. I know people just didn't want to play Helm because he was a white tight end, but he just seemed to crush every week, and people just wouldn't play him. He'd be high single digit ownership, and he'd be the receiver that would crush Texas. And it just felt like people just didn't want to play him. No one would talk about him. But I feel like Livingstone is that guy. He's looked good first couple of weeks, and I think he's legit. I mean, he was highly rated coming in. He looks really good. I don't mind injuries either at 6K. He's solid, and tournament option is Wingo. He had the ability to go off last week. He just dropped that one pass over the middle. I think would have gone maybe for 6. And then, like you mentioned, Odom, 4,500. He's cheap, and he's just getting volume. 15 targets week 1, 7 targets in the second week. I think Scudero, our guy last week, would have smashed had he not gotten injured. So he's kind of a similar guy. Plays in the slot.
He was smashing. That was a good call from you. Like, he looked great.
And this guy's kind of the same. I mean, he plays in the slot, plays some out of the backfield a little bit. They're missing Cam Thomas, who's like their best running back. So I could see them throwing the ball to him 15 to 20 times. It's, kind of a passing offense, and they love to throw those short little passes to him. I don't mind Toric Goins either at 3K. I've already made out my 3K shitters list, and he was on there. He's going to get some targets too. So it's going to be a solid game. The usual suspects for Texas, I kind of want to stay away from the running game unless I'm punting with like a Christian Clark or something. But I just think the offensive line is so bad right now; it's hard to play them.
Yeah, Big T, what are you doing with this one as well? Are you going to be more on Texas side, or you think it's going to be such a blowout they're kind of leaving them alone?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. I liked Texas a lot last week. Arch, I was all over Arch. He crushed. I don't know, though. They got back on track a little bit, even though they did struggle again. Honestly, Arch didn't look that great, even though he crushed. There was just wide open pieces and I was high on him. I was rooting for him. I wasn't bringing negativity last week. He just didn't look that good to me. I mean, everything was wide open when they connected, and even missed some wide open guys. But some of the things I just can't ignore, though, like Livingstone, like Bruce said, I just don't understand why his price is still 3,500. He looks like their best receiver, looks like a beast. He feels borderline just like a free square for me. It is college, and they have a lot of weapons, and you don't know, but they just haven't bumped his price at all. I just 3,500 is just crazy. So definitely going to like him. I think it could be the running game, and you do get those two cheap guys, Clark and Gibson. If it is, I mean, it's going to be a blowout. Let's face it. They're going to pound the team. They struggled the first 2 weeks. They're going to pound this team. So these guys are both 3,400, 3K. I think you can take flyers on guys like that over some of the chalk 3 guys earlier. And then you got our boy for UTEP, Lamar Odom here. Shout out Lamar Odom. Just an absolute monster so far this year. 2 just crazy good games, and he's got his price. This is what I mean about receiver, though, at least the way I want to construct. That's why I think I can get off that 3K guy. There's so many good receivers that are cheap that it just lets you spend up at quarterback and running back and just play the cheaper receivers. I mean, guys like Odom are just awesome plays. When you know they're down the whole game, he's going to catch the ball 12 times. I mean, he's just you give me that type of upside. If he somehow houses one, you're just going to crush. Yeah, I think there's plays in this game, but I doubt I play Arch. I don't really see the upside in that this week. And there's other expensive quarterbacks that, I mean, like you can't play him over Mateer, I don't think. And then we got the USC guys like 8,900. I don't know. I'm okay with any of these guys, but Livingstone and Lamar Odom would be my 2 guys.
I like it. Both cheap wide receivers there. Livingstone looking great last time out, getting into the box a couple times. Now we go to the game of the afternoon. Well, I guess Pitt, West Virginia could be up there, but really impressive to see how USF has handled both Boise and then, they throttled Florida on the defensive end. I mean, Florida got nothing on offense, and they weren't handing the ball off the bow. Lagway looked pretty bad. Like the U.S. defense might be a little bit legit. Miami's team total, though, is incredibly healthy. You got Brown. You got our guy, Byron Brown, as the top projected guy in this game, Bruce. I mean, that's interesting because, his game is so amazing. The way he was able to run the ball, too, is just like, I'm kind of a big fan. I really want USF to do really well. I was expecting, a guy like Carson Beck, but it makes sense because, Carson Beck's not going to have the same rushing upside, and their production at the running back position could go to any one of these 3 or 4 guys, right? Lyle's the one who started, and then wasn't it Lyle started, and then Fletcher played a lot, and then Charmar Brown ended up kind of scooping a touchdown there against Notre Dame. This team for Miami, it's a little bit confusing to kind of break down, except for CJ Daniels, and I have to give you credit for the call. Malachi Toney, you were all over him, and you liked him in the captain spot against Notre Dame as well. I mean, God, I texted my dad. I said, this guy looks like the real deal. Yeah. You were on him the first game, and 7,700, that's a heavy price tag for him. But what are you doing with Miami here?
Yeah, I kind of see Miami as a running football team. They punished Notre Dame on the ground. I think they can do the same to USF, even though USF looked good against Florida. I think Florida didn't commit to the run enough. They kind of gave up on it when they shouldn't have. But I love Fletcher here. I think Brown is solid too. Yeah, both of those guys last week, played a ton. I don't know what Lyle's status is here. I don't see that he played last week, so I have to look a little bit closer at that. But if Brown is the second guy, I don't mind him either at 5,900. I love Fletcher always. I think he's looked solid, running for almost 6 yards per carry, and that includes that Notre Dame game in there too. So their offensive line is great. They coming into the year, they had probably one of the best offensive lines in college football. So I don't mind them against this USF defense, which you said has looked better. Byron Brown has looked good. 13 rushes per game. That's kind of why he has a lot of upside. 50% QB usage as well. He likes to have the ball in his hands. CJ Daniels with that great catch, against Notre Dame to score a touchdown. He's only 5,400. Toney, like you mentioned, is just hard to play at 7,700, but the volume's going to be there for him. Don't mind a guy like Christian Neptune at 3K. He got 8 targets last week, and starting receiver playing in the slot. I think he's a solid play as well. But yeah, mostly the run game for Miami for me. I like Fletcher a lot, and don't mind Byron Brown in tournaments just in case he has that 100-yard rushing upside. I do like this Miami defense, but if anybody can do it, he can for sure.
Yeah, and CJ Carr got going there in that second half too, where he was able. He ran a little bit more than I thought too. But yeah, Byron Brown, man, impressive stuff the first week. I'm rooting for USF this week. Big T, do you think USF's got a shot against Miami?
God, that was another impressive victory last week, like you guys were talking about. They've looked impressive both weeks, and it's this bowling ball quarterback, Byron Brown, just rumbling over people like a big baby for the Celtics, just freaking trampling people out there. But I think their run might be over here today in this game. It's just a tough spot for them. Coming off a huge win, I always think it's tough for college kids coming off an enormous win like that to just come right back. And the next week you got to play Miami on the road. It's tough for college kids to be at their best week after week and get up like that. They're not pros yet. They're not. We just see it all the time, letdowns in these road spots. So I don't necessarily see it in this game, but Miami's got just a ton of plays you can like. I'm not a Carson Beck guy, but it definitely is, especially if you think UCF competes. I think he's in play just because he's 7K. And like Rubio said, I mean, Malachi Toney looks like a monster to me. Hughes has been slipping in the pecking order. So they don't love old. I believe it. I believe it. And I love the logo. I trust the logo from Kid Schmid.
That's a badass logo.
Maybe that other dude is a sneaky play because I think he was 3K. Whoever.
Lamar, yeah, Lamar.
Yeah. Good note. I always trust the Oregon logos more than other when we're talking about Oregon. So, but Malachi Toney, man, you guys were all over it. Bruce called it right away.
Yeah,
Rubio's talking about it. I want him in my player pool every single week because he is a beast, like just a beast. And the nice part is I always like to target spots like this. He's 7,700. Nobody's going to play him. I just talked about how all these cheap receivers I love, like Lemon and Walker, Wesco, all these 5K guys that I love. You can flip the build a little bit playing a guy like Malachi Toney where – on a team like where I played the 3K running back from Bama, is that where it was, Bama? I would play like Malachi Toney in that build just because no one's going to be on him. You get your 15 from the 3K guy, and maybe Toney goes for 40. It's similar to that Cameron play last week where I just think you have so much upside for 7,700 that I definitely want to be way over the field on Toney. So agree with that. What's our boy Redmond say about Hughes? Resident A Banks, Hughes doesn't know the playbook. Yeah, I will still stand by my point that
double down.
Not this week. I'm still not like saying this week. I'm just saying at some point, I think he's going to really crush, and no one's going to have him when that happens. So just leave him in your player pool. Give him a little sprinkle here and there. And 1 week, he's going to pay it off for you.
Yeah, I like it. And when Bruce mentioned that Malachi Toney and just absolutely goes off against the Notre Dame defense. And I know they don't have Golden anymore because, he's in a better place right now. The Cincinnati Bengals, baby, they got some Al Golden, but still doing that against Notre Dame's defense. Yeah, that's going to be eye-popping for sure.
He's going to crush again. Like, I need to play him this week. He's going to crush. He's got the meat log.
Let's check his bar graph real quick.
Pull the chart up. Let's see what the chart looks like.
Oh, look at that. Look,
it looks exactly like every other guy we've seen, but it's impressive.
I'm sorry. Now that you ruined it for me, man. You just ruined it for me.
Tell me it doesn't look the same for every one of them, though. Tell me I'm wrong.
That's the worst part is I haven't been able to prove you wrong. Every time I pull up one of those, I'm hoping that one of those bars is higher than the other. How is CJ Daniels only 5,400? Redmond asked there. I mean, Bruce, is the way to attack USF, is it through the ground or through the air real quick?
Yeah, their defensive line hasn't been great. I thought that Florida could have done more damage on the ground last week, but I think it's mostly on the ground. That kind of plays into Miami's strength.
I love it. I'll quit talking. But I do want, you know what? We haven't done this, and I've already ran long, so I can keep you guys an extra minute. I want a play of the day from each of you. All right, that's all I ask. Just one play of the day from each of you instead of a pick six. I'll post a pick six in the morning. Hopefully, I win this time. Last week, you almost had it last week.
Not
I think
close.
It was Wingo.
Yeah.
Wingo actually sold. It wasn't Arch. Arch had 3 touchdowns and stuff. But let's get a play of the day from each of you. The one caveat, which I don't have to worry about you guys. Under 20%. But yeah, I don't think either of you are going to dig above the 20% for a play of the day. And I'm stalling here because I know Bruce is looking right now. But Big T looked like he was confident. He already had his play of the day. Yeah, Big T's ready. Who's your play of the day, Big T?
I got the perfect plays of the day because I low owned and I'm going right in for 2 of them because I love the people and they go together. But my Purdue guys, Ryan Brown and Maccabee, I'm throwing them both in there together. You play them together, 5,100, 5,400. I think they're going to be in this game versus USC. I absolutely love them in this spot at these price tags.
I love it. Ryan Brown and Devin Maccabee, the 2 plays of the day from Big T, the plural plays of the day. I love it. Bruce, play of the day.
I was going to also say Maccabee, but I think he's in a great spot. I'm going to go with Jeremy Bernard at 7K. I think he's in a great spot, and he's looked fantastic through the first 2 weeks.
I missed such a golden opportunity to just come in and say Ryan Williams. I can't believe I missed that. How did I not come in with a straight face and just say Ryan Williams?
Yeah, you know what? Because you would have been wrong, and this way you have a chance of being right. You're not playing bull at wide receiver there at a heavy price tag, so that's a good thing. For Big T, for Bruce.
What about your play of the freaking day? What
Yeah,
do you think you're getting out of here without any heat on it? What do you mean here?
All right, I'm going to go with a guy not a lot of people are on right now. He's 8,500. It's Desmond Reed. Really just a great running back and a great spot. I'll go somewhat different than Desmond Reed. Big C always wanted me to just go like stone face and just recommend a super chalk play.
You should have gone with it.
I couldn't do it. It felt gross. It felt absolutely terrible to even suggest that.
You didn't even say you're a bad comedian because you were like overselling it the whole time. You should have just leaned into it.
You know what? God, you know what? I'm going to trust our Oregon guys here. You know what? When people are playing 3K Kevin Riley, and we get a comment from Kid Schmid talking about Lamar, and I think Oregon's going to whoop some butt in Chicago there, I'll lean into some Jaden Lamar there. And a nice projection. No, get out of here. I'm not
into the chat. That's how you get a crowd favorite right there.
You know what?
Pull the chat up and go with them for the play of the day.
You know what's funny though is that college football, I always say this too, college football has the most I would trust the fans over anyone else every single time because they know their team better than anyone because there's so many college football teams. I'll play some Lamar over a guy like Kevin Riley all day because we know what the ownership's going to look like. I was already super pissed off about playing Noah Whittington at 4 carries last week. Despite getting 91 yards and a touchdown, it wasn't enough. If a lot of people are going to go 1 3K running back, I'll happily go another here at no ownership and hope it pays some dividends. For Big T, for Bruce and I, we appreciate y'all for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. Have a great rest of y'all's day and bye-bye.